All right, all right, all right. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to On the Count podcast. I'm your host, Pedro Lugo. I'm here with Keoni Stevens and our guest, Marquise Rosado. So we're gonna get a chance now for a little while to talk to Marquise. Got a bunch of questions because I've been listening to some of your stuff and watching you for a little time now. So, Marquise, let's begin with this. Where are you from originally?
Middletown, New York.
Middletown, New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you grew up?
Nah, I grew up on the entire East Coast. I like to say. I did. So I did some. I did school in Virginia and in Charlotte and in Atlanta. I did elementary school, Virginia. I did elementary school. Middle school, some in Virginia. And I also did elementary school in Charlotte. I did a year middle school in Atlanta. I did a year of high school in Atlanta. I did a year of high school in Virginia. But throughout them, yeah, throughout all the
Back
times,
and forth.
anytime I got a break or like we had like a holiday or just any time I had more than a weekend away from school, I was up in New York.
All right, but why so much traveling? Why back and forth all the time? Any special reason?
Uh, I
I got
was, uh, I was, like a troublemaker, so just bouncing between like my grandma and then my other side of the family. Just
All right, Marquis. So on this show, I don't know if you watched any of the episodes. We can't just say troublemaker. We get into the meat of it. What kind of
oh,
trouble
we
were
we
you?
gonna get to that. Yeah.
What kind of trouble were you getting into that you had to move?
no, just like no,
Across the country?
like normal boy stuff growing up, like in the I guess the projects or whatever,
Mhm.
being disruptive in school, causing trouble, fighting, um, and then it started to get up to like leaving school in the middle of the day or like
Mhm.
miss the bus on purpose and then act like I'm going to school, and then like people call my mom like, "Hey, I seen your son walking, da da da," da. Just stuff like that. So.
Not, did you do any? Were you doing anything major that really was getting you in trouble, or were you just being rebellious? Which one was it?
Nah, it was just rebellious for real. Cause like all my like, now don't get me wrong, I used to get wrote up a lot, like a whole bunch. I don't know why. It just used to be like talking back or like being loud in class or like just like little, like little petty things that shouldn't really be going on. Cause like you in school, you here to learn or whatever. And, you know what I'm saying? Just like messing up class and stuff like that. Nothing like you
Just
know,
being hard headed.
yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your family, because it kind of piques my interest. Because you were doing stuff and they were moving you around, but tell me about family then, because they were trying to take care of you.
Yeah, so my family not really like my immediate family not really big. Just my mom and my grandma. And
Hmm.
I tried like me and my pops and everything, like being around him, but it just nah. So yeah, I don't really got like too big of immediate family, honestly.
Mhm.
Like siblings, couple cousins here and there. That's really it.
Okay. Any brothers?
Yeah. I got three brothers. I got three sisters.
Older, younger?
No, I'm the oldest. I got a brother that is 26. I got a brother that is 23. I got a brother that is 25. I got a sister that is 22. I got no sister that's 22. I got a sister that's 20 and a sister that's 21.
Okay. So y'all pretty much within the same age range. It's not like you could still have the 20, but in between that, but
Yeah.
well, pretty much the same age range. You were the one being rebellious, the oldest.
Yeah.
Usually, either the oldest, usually the youngest or the middle child, but
But see, I don't know. It's like cuz I grew up I got two brothers on my dad's side, and then I
Mhm.
got the brother and the three sisters on my mom's side. So me and my brother and my sister, me and my brother and one of my sisters, we kind of like grew up together. But one of my brothers still living in New York. That's where we grew up at. But like I said, we would always go there like all the time whenever we can. But then when my two little sisters came, it was like they was born. It was just like me, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like
Mm.
I never had to bear anything. I never had to, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm the only boy in the house, and I don't know. It was just like I just like as a kid, I can say now I did like to just do whatever I wanted to do. You know, like that's I feel like that's everybody, every boy. Like you just want to do whatever you want to do and see
And,
what the fuck
and
is.
and Mama loves you,
Yeah,
and Grandma did too. Okay.
so
Um, but what landed you in most trouble though? You ended up getting in trouble at one point in time.
uh, I can say now that just just not listening to people. You know, just trying to tell me to do the right things. And my mom always used to always say like, you think the world revolve around you, and then like I did used to think that because it's like I mean it's my life. Like how can it not revolve around me? Like you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, it's my life. But then as I got older, I started to understand what she meant. And looking back, it was just not listening for real. Like just doing my doing my own thing. I mean, I still do to this day. Like I listen, but like I kind of go at it with a different angle. I wouldn't say like I do it my way, but like I take what I'm saying what people say or whatever, and I think about it and try to implement it in what I'm gonna do or whatever. So now I definitely make better decisions for sure.
Okay. You say you went to different schools, but you also told me you ended up at going to the Job Corps.
Oh yeah.
How'd you end up going to? Why did you end up going to the Job Corps?
So I was in I was in I was in 11th grade, and I had just got done playing football in Atlanta, and spring break was coming up. I was staying with my pops. And like I said, we never got along. I always thought that like we did better like just over the phone, not in person, not just over the phone. But I would try to like, you know what I'm saying, like try to have him in my life or whatever. Because I didn't really meet him till I was like 14. So, and I was already like, doing stuff outside or whatever, like getting in trouble and stuff like that. So I kind of had like I was stuck in my ways. But spring break came, and I was on the football team, and they was talking about like coming back, and that I would be the starter. And I was we had a losing record, and I don't do too well. I'm a sore loser. We be honest, I hate losing. Like sports, whatever, I hate losing. So I told one of my friends like, once spring break come, the last day we get out for spring break, I'm not coming back. And he was like, "You for real?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm going back to my mom's. I can't stay here. The football team sucks. Like it's just a lot of other stuff." So spring break came, and then I went to my mom's. Got to finish school there. My senior year came,
Where was your mom at?
and she was in Virginia.
She was in Virginia. Okay.
Yeah,
And your dad was in Atlanta.
yeah. And then came to my mom's. Started senior year, and I was doing I was doing good or whatever. Like trying, I was doing good, and plus I wasn't getting in trouble in school first semester, and then it's like second semester came, and like everything just went down the drain. I don't know what happened. Like I just I don't know. Like after Christmas break, I don't know. I just flipped the switch, and I just went the whole opposite direction. And then they put me on academic probation, and was like, you get in trouble again, we're gonna send you to the alternative school, which is it's it's across the street, but it's behind a Christian school. So I ended up doing the senior prank, and was the last person to get caught. So they kicked me out of school, whatever, sent me to the alternative school to get to finish my high school diploma. I got there, they was like, we don't have one of the classes that you was taking over there, so you gotta get your GED. Now I know people say the GED and the high school diploma is the same, but I never looked at it the same, like
All
because
right.
I always been outside as a kid. And you know what I'm saying, in the hood or whatever, and people used to always tell me like, you're gonna be outside, you're gonna be doing this, at least make sure you have a high school diploma. Like, don't be no dummy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be, you know, have something. So that's how I always looked at it. Like, and plus I'm the oldest, so like I gotta get my diploma so my sisters know like they gotta get there, you know. So I wasn't worried about my brother, but just letting my sisters know like, yeah, your brother got your older brother got his, so you know what I'm saying? It's a standard basically. So I didn't. I stopped going. I was just like, man, it don't feel the same. I'm just not gonna go. And then I ended up in New York with my uncle. And then some time passed. My mom called me like, she was about to move back up to New York, and she was like, "You got two options: either you gonna go to Job Corps or you gonna be on the streets." I was like, "Shit." I guess I'm gonna just go to Job Corps. She was like, "Cause we about to move back up there, and if you want a room, you know what I'm saying. If you want a place to come back to when you whatever when you get out of Job Corps, then you need to go." So I was like, "All right," you know what I'm saying.
What year was that when you joined the Job Corps?
2018.
2018. Okay, so it was before COVID.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
Okay. Um, how was the Job Corps? Did it help you any, or did it just?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, cause like I wouldn't say I've been on my own. Like obviously I was raised by my mom, but like I've been outside, you know what I'm saying, just been doing my own thing since like a teenager, I could say. Like and been like going different states and traveling by myself. I've been doing all that since a teenager. But that was like the one time like I ain't have like I was there by myself. It's just me, like no mama, no grandma, no nobody. I'm like, dang, this about to be like I don't know how I'm gonna, cause I thought I was gonna get kicked out. Like somebody going, you know what I'm saying? Like something gonna happen. I'm gonna do something. I'm just gonna end up getting kicked out. My mom was like, if you get kicked out, just know like you don't, you know, like this is a choice I'm gonna make because of the choices you make. So I thought about
You kind of burned your bridge. You can't come back until you cry.
yeah, yeah. So I like the first month was it wasn't all that because somebody ended up stealing some money from me and everything because I had a job before I went in there, and you know, what I'm saying I had money saved up. Somebody stole my money. I called my mom and told her about that. Like, I don't know, this ain't about to work. Like, I'm about, you know what I'm saying? Like, something about to happen. They stealing my money and stuff like that. Like, cause you in class, like you in the dorms. Well, I can't speak for every job corps, but mine was like it was. I think I went to like the largest one or like the second largest in the U.S. But
Where's that? Where did you go to the Job Corps at? Where
the
was it?
one in D.C. Southwest, right, like literally right down the street from Eastover, Maryland.
Okay.
And so like you in the dorms and then like your class, the buildings is up top or what like up the hills and stuff like that. So like the only people in the dorms is the RAs, the residential advisors, the people that, you know what I'm saying, wake you up, make you sign the sheet and everything in the morning. So it had to be one. It was one of them. One of them went in my closet, and the crazy part is they took half of my amount. Like it's like they counted out my money and took half of it and put it back and put my wallet back and everything. So that kind of like turned my like I was kind of already like on the fence about like, yeah, I'm not gonna last long here. Like if this is what they doing, I'm about to show like I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just gonna do it my way. But then like I said, I started to join. I became a dorm leader. Then I got on the student like little government association they had, and then I became a mentor. I got on the Y2.
That was a big change.
Yeah, because I realized like, because I had my roommate like it's the people you go in with on your first day. They called you day one. So the first like your first month there, you do everything with them. Like as far as like going, it's just you go to CPP first. And then after CPP, if you don't have a diploma or GED, you take this test to see you got to score a certain number to see if you get like a 520 and below, you get your GED. 520 and above, you can go back into high school and get your diploma. So like you do your first month with the people you came in with. So my one of the people I came in with was my roommate. He had already been to one when he was a teenager, and he was like telling me like it's worth it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been to one before, but I was a teenager, so I really didn't. gained nothing from it type. But now, like, I mean, now I'm 19, about to turn 20, and I was 20, about to turn 21 at the time. And he was like, "You can really like leave here with something for real. You just, you know what I'm saying, put all the BS to the side, focus on yourself, and get what you and do what you gotta do." And so that's why so I just used to think about that, like, I ain't trying to just because I don't like wasting my time. I ain't about to just spend months to a year or 2 years up here and then leave with I get kicked out. And you know what I'm saying? I could have just been outside for all that.
Did you complete it?
Yeah, I completed it.
Got your high school diploma.
Yeah, I got my high school diploma there. I got my license and I got a trade there.
You got your license for what and what trade?
No, I got my driver's license there.
Oh, okay, all right. And you got a trade as well.
Yeah,
What trade? What did you?
electrical wire.
Okay, all right. So you can go and work on with
Yeah,
electrical.
wire.
At least start with the apprentice, and you have that certificate.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, you ended up doing some time. What was that? What happened? We got to touch on that first, too. As well. Okay. So,
Well, um, yo, this is crazy. I I don't even know it. All I can speak about really is that a situation happened with two other people, like a female and a male. Situation happened with them. I was nowhere around, like, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So when the situation came about, I initially didn't care because it's like who like they both of age or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like they both of age or whatever. Like what you know what I'm saying? I don't care about it. So then we asked the male about it or whatever. And he like, nah, she lying, da da da, this, that, and the third. Like I had to block her and do all this and that. So we asked the female about it. The female, like, no, we that never happened or whatever. But apparently the female told someone that she know. The someone told someone I know. The someone I know told me. So I was just like, either, you know what I'm saying, whether you did or you didn't, I don't care. But like, what is we making a big fuss about it for? So I'm sitting there playing the game with one of my homeboys, and then next thing you know, I look to my I'm sitting just like I'm facing you or facing the computer screen, and I look to my left, and the door open, and I just see a gun. I'm like, oh, like what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been out, I'll be outside or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not, it's not the first time. So like, I'm not really worried because if you was going to do what you thought you was going to do it, you would have already did it. You would never gave me time to even see it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there. They like, get up. I'm like, get up. I'm not getting up. What, you tripping? Like, you want me up? Get me up. So I'm still sitting there. They just keep saying, get up, get up. So I'm like, no. So my homeboy sitting across from me, like he's just looking. I'm like, yo, come on, let's finish playing the game. Like, never mind that. So then they put the gun on me. So I get up. So I'm asking, I'm like, yo, what's going on? What's going on? Nobody says nothing. Like, nobody says nothing. So then people come upstairs. They're like, yo, no, you can't do that. Like, stop. You can't, da da da. You can't do that. This, that, and the third. Uh, I grab my phone. I grab my laptop, my book bag, and my gun, and I get up out of there. When my homeboy I was playing the game with, he called me like, "Yo, you need a ride?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he dropped me off. I went somewhere, and I just waited it out. Like I waited, whatever. Called called this girl I called my sister at the time. Well, not at the time, but we still talk to each other and everything. I see her.
Wait a
Called her.
minute. Hold on. Pause for a second because I want to make sure I'm not missing something. You went from
um,
you have someone with a gun on you in the room to
Yeah,
grab my stuff and left.
yeah,
How did
yeah.
that
Because
transition?
people came upstairs and stopped the person with the gun. Like they was
Gotcha,
like, no,
gotcha.
like no, you can't do that. So they took that person downstairs. And when as soon as they went downstairs,
but who was this person with a gun? I thought for a moment the cops came to arrest you or something. But what was he doing? What was a gun? Why was he there with a gun?
It was a family member.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so when they went downstairs, I grabbed my stuff. I got up out of there.
Okay.
So then that's when my homeboy gave me the call, like, yo, you need a ride? I'm like, yeah, give me a ride. And then he didn't even know where he was dropping me off because I didn't want him to know anything, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just a lot going that night, like a lot, certain stuff I don't want to speak on or whatever.
No, you're
But
fine. This isn't Vlad TV. We don't
yeah,
Yeah, I know.
drop
no, but
names and get people arrested. You just
yeah, nah,
say
he
what
dropped
you
me
can
off
say, the gist
or
of the
whatever.
story. We just want to make sure no one gets lost
Oh yeah, so
in the
I
storyline.
get dropped off and I'm just like chilling or whatever where I'm at. The next day come, I call like my big sister. That's why I look at this. I look at the girl like my big sister. I call, I tell her what happened. She's like, I'm gonna come pick you up. She picked me up. One of my other bros called me. He asked me to do something. Like, I can't do it. Like I got something going on right now. He like, what you got going on? I can't really speak on it, but like I got to get up out of Atlanta. Like I got to go. So he like, what you need? I'm like, I need some money. So he sent me some money, and that night I got a bus ticket and I went to Ohio because I knew somebody in Ohio. So I
So
go,
this was happening in Atlanta.
yeah.
Okay, I thought you were okay. So you're
Now,
not.
I had, like at the job corps and everything, I moved back to New York, but then I ended up coming to Atlanta to try to like basically start modeling and everything. I was trying to get into that and everything. So I went back. I went down there because my brother on my one of my brothers on my dad's side, he know one of his close friends is in it, like they're actors. So I was, what I'm saying, basically people was giving me the pitch like you can come down here and try to, do what you want to do. So that's why I ended up in Atlanta again. But yeah, so I go to Ohio and I'm just up there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Then one of my uncles called me, asked me, am I good? Whatever. Was like, if you want to come back, you can come here. Like, we on your side. Like, you know what I'm saying? We already know the truth or whatever. Like, you good. So, like, 2 weeks later, I come back to Atlanta and everything is, I wouldn't say smooth, but like, I'm there. I get a job. I'm working. I'm giving COVID tests at the time. Like, I'm swapping for COVID and everything. Everything cool. I get a job. I get a travel job going to California working. So I'm flying back and forth. Everything cool. So on my last trip, I decided to come to my mom's house or whatever. 'Cause I was like, I miss my mom. I want to see my mom or whatever. So I came to Virginia, whatever. Had was like planning to move, like, what I'm saying, like finally, like, all right, cool, everything. I guess all the smoke settled or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking everything fine. So I'm, calling apartments and everything, like trying to find jobs out in Texas and everything, like trying to just get everything in order for myself. And now, mind you, I'm working, like working and everything, going to California and everything. And then I'm doing the this was the day I was supposed to start a John Casablanca class. On this day, on September 15th, 2022, I was supposed to start John Casablanca, the first class of week one. And I'm sitting there. I just hear like car doors closing. I'm like, what is that? Because my mom's not home. So I look out the window. I see people get out of like the Ford expeditions and they got U.S. Marshal. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like,
Okay.
what my mom did is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I I'm not thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, you know what I'm saying? I ain't did nothing. I've been going to work, coming, you know what I'm saying, coming home,
You're
and
like,
just
they can't be here for me.
exactly. So I got my laptop in my hand. I'm actually doing a video call interview for a job, a work from home job. I got my laptop in my hand with my phone on my computer. So I go open the door. Front door is already open. The screen door locked. So I open the door. I'm like, yeah. They're like, are you Marquise? I'm like, yeah. Like, what's up? They're like, yeah, we got a warrant. I try to slam the door. The guy put his arm in the door. Like, we not about to do that. So I'm like, a warrant. I'm sitting there thinking, like, what? I ain't, I ain't, what the hell? What the? So then I'm like, a warrant for what? And he tell me, I've never felt like this in my life, even while playing football or like getting hit hard. My legs were jello. Like when he said what he said, I was just like, "Oh, I need to sit down. Like I need to sit down right now." I'm like, "You just." So that's when I call my mom or whatever, and I tell her. So she started, you know what I'm saying, like, "Yo, where you at?" I'm like, "I'm at the house. What do you mean where I'm at? I haven't went anywhere. Like, She's like what happened? I'm like, bro, I don't know. Me and Justice was smoking outside. He went to work, said he's gonna come back. I smoked again. They pulled up. Now I'm in the truck, like I'm in the car. They taking me to the jail, to the city jail out here. So the officer like, she like, can I come? Like, can I come talk to you? Like, they're like, nah, you can't talk to him until he get to the jail. I just at the third. So when I get to the jail,
Yeah, magistrate got to see you before that, and all.
no, I didn't even see the magistrate. Like,
No,
it's weird how things work out here. Like, it's weird. I didn't even see no. I got in there. I got processed. Did my fingerprints, all that, and I'm sent down. I get my little phone call, whatever. They asked me like, "Do you want to take a shower or get a phone call?" It's either or. I'm like, how does that work? Like, what? So then get on my phone, my
Wait,
mom.
I'm sorry, Marquise. I keep Pedro. What? Wait. You either get a shower
Yeah, they
or
said
you
it
get a
was.
phone
They was.
call.
They said you get
Which one do
15.
you want?
They said you get 15 minutes. You get a 15-minute phone call. You get a 15-minute shower. Which one you want?
Have
And I
you
was like,
ever heard of that, Pedro?
I never heard of that, but jails do run differently.
so
They do
I was like, man,
whatever they want to do sometimes too. So
I'm taking the phone call. So they was like, all right, the next time you won't get a shower, because I think I got locked up on a Thursday. They was like, next time you won't get a shower is to like late, like tomorrow or something. Like that's if we decide to let you out to get a shower. If not, it's gonna be Monday. So I'm like, man, whatever.
That's
Like,
such a crazy choice. What's the point of being clean if no one knows where you are and you can't call anybody?
that, yeah,
uh,
I don't get that.
so then I called my mom, and then she like, I know exactly what happened or whatever. Well, she's saying like I know who did it or whatever. And I'm telling her, I'm like, bro, I wasn't there. Like when they saying this happened or whatever, I was nowhere around. I wasn't even living in the state of Georgia. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my mom like, I know. There's a third. So I get off the phone with her. I just tell her, I'm like, yo, get my I'm like, you need to find a way to get something so to show that I wasn't there, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause after that we good. Like it ain't no more of this. So she like, all right, whatever. So I hang up. So one of the officers, he was telling me, he was like, because he seen me like I was going crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I ain't ever been in no situation like this, so I'm like, what, you know what I'm saying? I don't really know what's going on or like what's about to happen, stuff like that. So the officer is like, he like, yo, let me talk to you. So I'm talking to him. He like, what happened? Like, what really happened? He like, I mean, you already in jail, so like, I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling him, he like, you might be. He's like, you might be good. Like you might. He's like, I believe you. Like from what you telling me, if this is all true, you should be good. But you just gotta. He like now it's just about going. Like you just gotta wait now. Basically, he like because they you in here and until you get out or you know what I'm saying.
You gonna go through the process.
Yeah, you got to go through the process. He like, yo, just keep your head up. And then one of the other officer lady, she was listening too. She was like, I believe you too. She was like, the good thing about it is there.
We lost him, Keoni. You're muted, Keoni.
So Pedro, until he comes back, I watch a lot of cop drama. I mean, not drama. I watch
Shows.
forensic files, interrogations, all those things. And I got nervous when the cop said, so tell me what happened. Because,
Yeah,
you could
yeah,
get
I
pinned.
was, I was too. Because is he talking to one of the jailers or just some? Because the jailers usually won't talk to you and stuff like that, and not really use that information unless it's something that's detrimental. That well, he did kill somebody or whatever. But sometimes they just having a conversation, and sometimes it's just very natural to ask
Yeah.
that question. But
Well,
I did get that feeling too. I'm like, who asked you that? Did you really just start talking and tell them all? Because one thing that
yeah, because
don't,
there's a
don't
saying.
don't have those conversations. Anybody asks you questions, you need to speak to my lawyer.
Yeah, because there's a saying. What's the saying? If you're guilty, get a lawyer. If you're innocent, get a lawyer.
Yeah. Once you're in that box, yeah, that's one thing. Anybody will tell you.
Yeah,
If you ever get arrested and you're in that box, they questioning you. Don't Once they read your rights.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not speaking to anyone.
Hey,
Don't.
Marquise, we were just talking about, we know it worked out for you. We were just talking about how I got a little nervous when you first said the cop said, "Hey, tell me what happened," because I watch a lot of uh, you know, true
Oh yeah,
crime.
no, it
And
wasn't.
I always see that, "Hey, tell me what happened," and then a person starts talking, and even if they're innocent, they'll say something that catches them up that they don't mean or something, and it's always weird. But I'm glad that didn't happen to you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
got
you.
here again.
Oh
You're back.
yeah. But yeah, because they wasn't the ones like interrogating me. They were just the ones that just was like
The
processing.
jail, the jailers, the correction officers,
Yeah.
and
So I sat for like out here. I sat for like I think like 2 weeks, and I had to wait for um Georgia to come get me, or they either had to let me go. So they had a time limit. Like they either come get me by this day, or I get to go home. And I kept asking the sergeant like, "Yo, is it true? Like they don't come get me, I get to go." He's like, "Yeah." But usually they're gonna come pick you up. Like even if it's the last day, they'll come get you. And so on the day that if they didn't come get me, I was gonna go home. They showed up. I'm like, man, like dang. So they put this big old bracelet on my leg. Like this thing was like that big. I'm not even joking.
no, they're
It's
leg irons. They look very, very, but they're just big and round. Because
yeah, and then it's blinking red. And then I asked him, I'm like, what's this? He's like, man. So I'm not saying you're gonna run, but like if you try to, this gonna have you crawling back. Like we don't even gotta chase you. I just press a button and you're done. Whatever. So I get to Atlanta. I'm I'm just in there. Like I'm sitting in intake for I sat in intake for 3 days. And intake, you're not in no cell. Like this is where everybody is in the beginning, like where everybody getting processed, and you just sitting out there waiting to get like your photo taken and your fingerprints to then go upstairs. So I'm saying it's so many people. It's I've never seen. Well, I ain't ever been to jail before, so of course I've never seen it. But it was people coming in every 30 minutes around the clock. I'm just like, yo, there's no way there's that much crime going on in this city where it's so many people. Like we're packed in here, like people sleeping on the floor and everything. So I sat in there for 3 days, couldn't brush my teeth, couldn't take a shower. Nobody could.
you,
Barely eating food, trash. Like it was. I was just like, yo, this is not player at all. Like I can't like. I'm just thinking about everything. Like, dang, I was just supposed to start the class today and on the job. Like, oh man, I'm screwed. So then I get on the phone with my mom, and something I just had a feeling. I was like, they gonna try to say it was going on in August. I don't know what said that to me, but I'm just sitting down before I get on the phone and everything. And I was just like August, like that's all I could think about. Like for some odd reason was August. I didn't get my warrant yet, so like they didn't show me. I didn't know what I was being charged with or like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like so I'm just sitting there like August. For some reason just August. Then I get my warrant or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like people look you're looking at people looking at yours or whatever, like, oh whoa, that's kind of crazy. Like but then you're looking at people, you're like, I don't know, what you got is a little worse. Like so then I call my mom and I tell her what's on the warrant. And she's like, what date did you say it? I'm like, this date. And she's like, you wasn't there, like you wasn't there. And all I screamed was, I knew it. Like I just said I'm innocent. And this is like they always say don't cry in jail, but I stand up for I defend myself pretty well. I just slid down the wall and just started crying. Like that's all, like, because I was just like, yo, like why is this happening to me though? Like you know what I'm saying? Like just I'm like, when can I come home? She's like, we don't know. Like we trying to, I'm trying to see like what we can do. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get a bond or whatever.
so how
So
much
then
time do you end up doing? How long you stay in Atlanta in the jail?
I stayed out there for 6 months.
So you ended up doing 6 months.
Yep. Because I got a bond. I got to see, well, with the charges I had, they denied my bond on. You go see the judge. You go see a judge. When you get a judge, you go see a judge the next morning. So when you in your cell the next day, you go see a judge. They either tell you like, okay, this your bond or no. So she told me no at first. So I called a lawyer, and he was like, you're gonna have to get a motion for a bond in front of a something judge. Because like no magistrate judge is gonna give you no bond with what you got. So then I got a public defender because I didn't have 30,000 at the time. So I got a public defender, and he like, I can get you a bond, whatever. It might be kind of high. I'm like, man, if it's kind of high, I'm kind of not going home, like whatever. So I
Right.
go to court, and this is why, like, like lesson learned with everything, even though I was innocent and everything, but lesson learned with everything, like to just always have just, you know what I'm saying, just money tucked off in the side, even though that's like a life lesson, like a life tip, but like you just never know when something's gonna happen, something like, you know what I'm saying. So he got me a bond for like 55,000. He like, yo, so I got you a bond. I'm like, 55,000. Like I wanted to punch him, but my arms was chained to my side, and I'm like, bro, I can't do nothing with this. Like, bro, my mama don't got 55,000. Like, where do you think I come from? Like, this is no, bro. I'm gonna be sitting in here. So he like, you ever heard the analogy? Two, one in the hand is better than two on the fence. So I'm like, bro, I don't got time for that right now. Like, no, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't care about none of that. He like, well, what I'm trying to say is, I got the bond right here. I got the paper in my hand. Now you can, I can go try to get it lowered, but she could say no, or the DA could say no, like, but you already have one. So I take the bond paper or whatever. He like, I'm gonna call your mom or whatever. So I get to jail. I call my mom anyway. She's like, what's your bond? I'm like, 55,000. She's like, 55,000. I'm like, yeah, I already know, like, whatever.
Yeah, but then when
So
you go to the bondsman, and it's going to be like 10% of that in the
now,
bondsman.
see, when they get that high, they want more than 10%, and you gotta have two cosigners. Like,
Collateral. They want a collateral.
yeah, so I didn't. Only person I really had at the time was my uncle, and he couldn't do nothing for me because he got VA, like he was in the army. He get the VA loan or whatever. They're like, we can't take that as income because it's protected. So even if he do run, we can't come get our money from you. So no. So I end up sitting. I end up like December 31st. They indicted me. Then my lawyer called me again. Well, he spoke to me. He like, I can get you a bond. Well, before that, I was putting in all this paperwork on him because he wasn't doing his job. Like he waived my I forgot what it's called when you go up there, like when you asking for the bond or whatever. But with the evidence I had to prove my innocence, I feel like my case could have got dropped that right then and there, but he waived that or whatever. And then like he just wasn't telling them like my client can prove his innocence. Like he wasn't telling them that. So I was fortunately I was locked up with a couple of people that study law, and I was locked up with a lawyer. Like his wife was doing him the lawyer. It was an old guy, so like probably like 70s, but he still was teaching law to people in there. So he
Yeah.
was helping me. Like he like tell me what's going on, whatever was, you know what I'm saying, with your case. So he reading it, he like, man, you might be the 1% of person to get up out of here. Like not too many people. Like it's rare. He like, but everything lining up. And if you saying you got this to counteract that, then you good. So he helped me write all this stuff up.
So he got him a jailhouse lawyer, Keoni, to help him out.
Well,
Um,
no, he not only had a jailhouse lawyer, he had
those
the
last,
because there's the jailhouse lawyer, which is the person that's been in jail for a long time and spends a lot of time in the library and learns, and then you have the jailhouse lawyer who was an actual lawyer.
but he actually had a lawyer in the jailhouse that was helping him out. A lot of times that really does happen. This,
Yeah.
Here's the crazy part, and I'm gonna ask him this. Here's the crazy part. I feel like the answer that he's going to say is yes. I feel like from what he's saying, the jailhouse lawyer helped him out more than the actual lawyer.
No, he definitely did because like he was an actual lawyer on the outside, but he was going through. His wife was a DA, so they was kind of going through it with each other, and she got him put in prison. So he was like, "Yo, like I actually study law and everything. Like I have
We
my
need to
own."
get those. We need to get those two people on. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good story.
So
But
he
go
like, "Yo,
ahead, Marcus.
I got my own like law library and all that full of law, just everything." So he giving me game, and he like, "Yo,
Uh,
if you do it the right way, you should be going home soon or whatever." So I'm putting all this in, and my lawyer he telling me like, "Yes, it looks like somebody put this in." I'm like, "Yeah, it was me. Like I did that." Like he like, "Why?" I'm like, "Cause you're not doing your job. Like you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You feel like you're working against me, bro. Like I've been sitting in here." like nothing's happening. You waiving my court appearances, like all this and that.
Do you feel that the public defender didn't believe you? Because I know people
I
who
felt
have
like
been in that position, and they say they're working with me, but they can kind of sense that he's like, yeah, right, all right, I'm going to do my job, but you did it.
I felt like at first, because when I was first telling him, he like, yeah, okay, cool, like, yeah, you can say that, because my public defender, he had just be I think like a couple years before that, he had just became a lawyer. He was actually a DA at first. He started off as a DA. So he was like, I've been doing this law, like I've been in here for a minute, but I just became a lawyer a couple years ago. He like, but you telling me this, but this is what the DA can say. They can say this. He's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot. So at first I feel like he didn't believe me, but then like when I got out on bond, when I finally got out on bond and everything, and he got my bond lowered, I feel like that's when he was like, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like he got his family showing up for him and everything. Like he come to court, he don't miss court. Like it's the same story. I wasn't there. I can prove it. Da da da. This that the third. He was like, he got to the point where he was like, I believe you. Like you showing me, I got the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? It's just that what you facing and where you're at right now, like the county you're in, it just and your skin color, because I have experienced racism in Georgia where I was staying at. So he's like, it just doesn't look good for you. Like it's like, yeah, you can prove it, but it's not up to you. It's not. He's like, it's not really up to you. It's up to them 12 people in that box, that whether they feel like
You
they
tell
want to take
the truth or
that
not.
evidence or not. So he's like, I don't like what you want. And I'm telling him, I'm like, look, because he's telling me, he like, you facing this much. I'm like, I can't do that. Like if I do that and I go all the way and I lose, I'm going to kill myself. He's like, well, I'm like, yeah, like I'm just not. I can't sit with that on my conscience. Like knowing
But
I'm
that didn't happen. No, we're glad. And,
yeah.
um,
But no, he did end up getting my bond lord when I got indicted. I got indicted December 31st, and then he was like, I can put in for a bond motion to get it lowered. So I go to court for that, and then my judge was, because him and my public defender and DA was going back and forth, because my he was telling like, yo, he can't pay that. He's been sitting in jail ever since y'all gave him the first bond. Like he can't pay that. This and third, and they telling like all the good stuff I was doing on the outside or whatever. And so my judge like, hey man, y'all treating this like it's the trial. This is the bond. This is the weirdest bond hearing I've ever heard in my life. Like, what are we doing about the bond? So my lawyer was like, yeah, I want a 10. Can he get a 10,000? And I looked like, oh, I'm going home. Like if they, I'm about to go home, because the DA said, he was like, we don't have no evidence, no, we just have a statement that was made. Like, and which in Georgia is crazy, because that's all you. They got this thing called the hearsay law. Like just anything anybody say, it's up against you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, I knew they didn't have no evidence because I wasn't there. Like I can't be
We
two
all
places.
know why that's a law, but that's a whole different episode.
So then the judge, she lowered it. She was like, well, I like it at 15. And when she said 15, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going home. Like it ain't too much more of this right here. Like, so then I got back to the jail, and a couple of people was telling me they had known my bond was at 55. And they was like, yo, like you kind of already got them folks beat. Like they gave you a bond. Like understand what you looking at, like understand the charges and what you facing, and understand that them folks is basically saying like, yo, you can go if you got the money. You know what I'm saying? So one of the guys was like, yo, you halfway beating them. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can get it lowered, he was like, if you get it lowered to like 15, 20, they know that they don't got nothing against you, and they know that they just trying to run you for as long as they can, and they gonna see if they can get you. He was like, but it's 55, they might cut it to 30, like who knows or whatever. So when they lowered to 15, I come back, he like, what they say? I'm like, take a guess. He like 20, 25. I'm like 15. Like 15. Oh, you going home? Like you cool. You going home. You as soon as you get out, just do what you gotta do, and they should, you know what I'm saying, they should dismiss it or whatever. He's like, worst case worst, they try to give you probation or something, like, you know what I'm saying, but like
gotcha.
you kind of don't want that either, because it's kind of like saying you did it, but I understand like it might be the only way you get them off your back. So I came home. I was going to court. I came home 2023 February, end of February, like early March. Came home, caught another case, and I was just felt like life was going downhill.
You got another case.
Yes, This one I took the trial. I beat it in trial, so we can talk about that one. But yeah,
What you get another case for? As soon as
Come
you get
on now,
home,
Marquise. Come on.
look, man. So came home. A female friend turned more to a female friend in her eyes. I didn't want it to go that far. We ended up getting into an argument, which led to physical violence on her end. Um, the police showed. Well, I was out of there because I'm good at getting up out of there. So I got up out of there, made it back home. 2 days later, 3 days later, restraining order. My mom asked him like, "Is he about to go to jail?" They're like, "Nah, nah." She like, "You lying." Anytime a restraining order comes, the person's about to go to jail. Like an hour later, I get picked up again. So I'm sitting there. I get bonded out like an hour. Like an hour later after that, I get bonded out. Whatever. So I'm going through that. So they charged me with assault and battery and strangulation because the girl said I choked her, I beat her up, this, that, and third. Now she's
You know
lighter.
what? You know what Marquise is, Pedro? Marquise is that guy that is innocent, but he reacts as if he's guilty.
yeah, yeah. He told me act like
So like he's innocent, but he reacts like a guilty person.
Because I don't be knowing what to do. I'm a cool individual. I don't really I don't like stuff even taking me to the top. So like what she was saying, I was just like, come on, I did not do that. Like, what are we?
Oh no,
Cause
no, no, no! Listen, I of course I've had many talks with you, and so when you told me that you wanted to be on the show because you have a story, and you started briefly telling me the story, I'm like, wait, you can't? Are you making this up? Because it
no,
didn't fit the person that I was talking to.
yeah,
So,
but like, yeah. So I was initially supposed to go get my hair done, and I didn't want to be over her house too much. Like, I didn't want to be over there more than enough, like more than I had to. So I just initially
well,
just
that was your but you were young,
yeah,
and the thing you learn as you get older, red flags make you say you trust
yeah.
your instincts more.
And then she had showed up when she, and this is what tripped me out about the whole thing. She picked me up from my house because I had just got out of jail, so I'm not really trying to be too much. You know what I'm saying? I was just laying back out the way. So she picked me up, go trying to get my hair done. I'm trying to show her how to do it. Mind you, she's tipsy. She had been drinking. I don't care what you. I don't drink at all. Like that's not my thing or whatever. So I don't care what she does, but just know how to control your liquor or whatever you're drinking. So the argument turned from her doing my hair to her hitting me or whatever, whatever. So then when I get arrested and everything, they're like strangulation, strangulation, assault, and battery. So I'm going with that. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, dang, I can't let Georgia find out about this because I'm going through that still. If they find out, I'm cooked. Like either way, because the judge said, Mr. Rosado, you better not get a speeding ticket. Like I'm letting you go home. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just be good, like or
stay out
whatever.
of trouble.
So I'm trying to do that, and then they not trying to give me no deals with this. And I'm not too kind of taking no I'm not taking no deal for something I didn't do. Like I'm not going to prison for something I didn't do. I'm just not doing that. Like I don't care what y'all say, I'm not doing it. Either y'all gonna give me a deal where I don't go to prison and this is off my record, or we just gonna have to take it to trial. I don't care. So then they said I had a court date. I go to court on Halloween. My trial was supposed to be on Halloween, so I go to court on Halloween. They're like, you got a warrant. I'm like, a warrant for what? Like, what do you mean I have a warrant? Like, they're like, yeah, they said it says right here, fugitive. I'm like, for what? And like, they're like, it's saying you missed court. I'm like, I'm here right now. Like, this is the day y'all gave like, 'cause they give you a paper, green. They gave me a green piece of paper with my court. I'm like, y'all gave me this paper. I have it at home right now. So then she's like, no, I said you had court the 23rd. I said, no, y'all never. I never got no paper with that. Like, I came to court on my sister's birthday, which was in August. And then the next paper I got was October 31st. I'm here. It's October 31st. It's supposed to be my trial. What's going on? So they're like, yo, go turn yourself in. I'm like, no, I'm not turning myself in. Like, I'm not going back to jail. I'm not doing none of that. Y'all do y'all job this time. Y'all come find me. So they like, yo, one of the ladies like, go talk to your
That'd
lawyer.
be tough.
Huh?
Being tough. No, y'all come and find me. I ain't
Yeah,
going.
because at this point I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of this. Like, this is gonna be the third time in less than a year. Like, no, I'm tired of taking pictures for y'all. I'm tired of doing all of this. So I go to my lawyer's office. She's like, yeah, I'm with my mom, and she like, you should turn yourself in. My mom like, no, we're not doing that. Like, we're not. Ain't no more turn yourself in. No more of that. Like, no, you need to fix this. So then she like, this one I kind of felt like, oh man, I'm about to go to prison. The lawyer said, go home and hide. Don't come outside. I said, oh man, no lawyer should never tell their client that I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I'm going back to jail. So I'm sitting at home, and then she called me like, "Hey, can you be to court on Monday?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "For what?" Because if they about to lock me up, I'm not coming. She's like, "Nah, it's for I put in a motion to get the warrant dismissed, the initial warrant." So I'm like, "All right." So I go there. So the DA come in, and she like, "Yeah, we'd like to indict him again." I'm like, "For what? Like, what do you?" Y'all just indicted me on assault and battery and strangulation. Now y'all indict me again on what? She's like, yeah, we gonna indict him for kidnapping. Who did I kidnap? What do you mean kidnap? Like, I don't even know how to kidnap nobody. What are we talking about right now? So then I'm just looking. I look at my lawyer like, huh? She's like, just. I'm like, relax. I can't relax. Like, I'm about to have to go back to jail. So she's like, nah, you good? Like, nah, you going home? You going home? So the judge asked me like, why you missed court? I'm like, listen, sir, I never got no paper for this. Only one I got was for the 31st. You can ask my lawyer. She never told me nothing about the 23rd. Like, I never knew nothing about this. So he like, is that true? He asked my lawyer. She's like, yeah. Then he go check with the clerk office. They're like, yeah, we got him down for 31st, which is today. Like, that's it. So he like, all right, Mr. Rosado, like, I'm gonna dismiss the warrant or whatever. But you do have a new charge of kidnapping. So I'm like, yo, am I going home? Like, do I get to go back home? He like, yeah. So he leave, everybody leave. They're like, yo, you just wait right here. I was like, I'm about to go back to jail. Like, they about to take me back downstairs. So the officer come on, he like, yo, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, put my hand. Like, I start cussing and everything. I'm like, calm down. I'm like, man, calm down. I'm about to go in cuffs again. Like, no, I'm tired of this. Like, nah. He like, look, man, I don't know what they said. Like, I'm just the officer. I just got to take you down there. So they take me down there. I take mugshot again, whatever. They're like, the magistrate, like, yeah, we're going to give you bond. She's like, we'll give you a bond, but it's like, you don't got to pay nothing. So it's it's like a person with cognizance bond, but you don't really got to do anything. We just gonna sign this paper, give you this, and you just go. But you had to get reprocessed. So then I start smiling again, like, okay, get to go home. But now I'm still thinking about what's going on. I'm like, all right. So then and trial come up April of this year. No, March of this year. I go to trial for it. And initially, the girl was telling me like she was gonna drop the charges and everything, like because everything was her fault. Like she started all this, then the third, because she had texted me like, "Hey, let's meet up." This is she picked me up again. We seen each other again. All while this is going on. So I'm thinking like she's like, "Yeah, I went down there and tried to drop the charges or whatever, but they said since you missed court, they keeping like they gonna uphold it or whatever." She's like, "You good? Like whatever." So I'm thinking like she ready to get up. You know, so when she go on the stand, she gonna hold me down. Man, she get up there and start telling like I'm just looking like, oh, this can't be true. Like, dang, bro, like it's over for me. I'm cooked. So then they asked like, going through the trial, they asked her questions, whatever, this and the third. Break time, my lawyer, it's my mom, the mediator, my public defender, and her boss. So we all talking, and they're like, what you want to do? My mom like, I feel like you should tell your side of the story. I'm like, and my lawyer like, nah, don't testify.
He heard the way you be talking. He's like, no. But
We,
it's crazy because you got text messages
Yeah,
of
I had all
someone
that,
who
but they was
says you're a danger, but they want to meet you and they're sorry
yeah,
and all
that's
of
what
that.
my lawyer was saying. Like she was questioning when she was cross examining her. She was like, "How can my client be such a danger if you're willing to? You was picking him up still, and this, that, and the third, and when you was told not to, like, that's where I got a one. And then so I didn't testify, but then the DA started showing like pictures that they took photos of her. It was nothing. They showed her birthmark. Like she had a birthmark that go all the way down her arm. They showed her birthmark and it was like, this is the area where he punched her. He punched her in her chest and her arms. And she said I strangled her. She said I strangled her 3 times to where she seen stars around her head and she went unconscious. The medical examiner got up there. Now, in my opinion, you strangle someone, especially lighter than you, lighter than me, you're gonna see the handprints on that person's neck. The medical examiner said 80% of the time it's internal damage. I just look like they are working so hard to get me on anything because they was like, they're like, well, you locked her in the bathroom. I was like, I never locked anyone in the bathroom. I'm the one that opened the bathroom door. Like, what do you mean I locked the bathroom? I opened the door for her to get out the bathroom because she said she wanted to get out the bathroom. Whatever. So they're like, well, guys, if you can't find them guilty on all charges, you can drop the kidnapping and find them guilty on assault and strangulation. I'm just like, yo, like what?
They want to put you in jail one way or the other.
Like what is going on? So then they asked me like, "This is all. Do you want to testify?" And I just looked. I was like, "No." And they was like, "All right, jury, go back there for deliberation." So I got up, go sat with my mom, and my grandma now. And
I
I'm like,
don't think. Hold on, pause, Pedro. I don't think, and even if my lawyer advises me, it's going to be very hard if I'm innocent of something for me not to testify.
that's
I
how I
know
felt.
lawyers are good, but I don't. I will if I know if I'm innocent, if I'm truly innocent. If I'm guilty, I'm not testifying. But if I'm innocent, I'll take my chances. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I'm
No,
telling
that's what
I'll take my chances.
that's
Like,
what I was saying to my lawyer. Like I was on the same thing. Like, but why would I not want it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they asked the jury before you trial started asking like, if you don't hear the other person's testimony, are you? They basically can't hold it against you, so they still have to go with what they're hearing. But if you don't testify, they can't say what.
that's always a tricky thing because everyone's human. You can tell them
Yeah,
strike that from the record and pretend you didn't hear that, but it's like I can't pretend to hear something I already heard.
yeah. So that's when I was just like, and then my lawyer was like, it was like, right, remember, you still got the stuff in Atlanta, like, because the girl had known about the stuff in Atlanta. You know, we talked about it, whatever. She was like, well, I'm here for you. So like, there was like, if you get up there and she say something about that, like, it's over. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna go down some way. There was like, you see the way the DA is grilling, is like telling the story and like, you know what I'm saying, grilling the jury. Like, wait, if you testify, what do you think she's gonna do to you? So my lawyer boss was like, I've been taking notes this whole time. Like you're winning. Like if you get up there and you say the wrong thing one time, it's over. So that's why I was just like, all right, no. So they go back there and I'm waiting. I actually fall asleep waiting. Like I thought it was forever, but it was only like I think like my mom said like 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm like, you think they're gonna say I'm innocent? She's like, if you was guilty, they would have been back by now. She's like, if they find you, like if they all gonna find you guilty, it's not gonna take them that long. Like they're gonna hear what they heard and be like, no, he's guilty. And she's like, you good. So I'm like, I don't know, man. They taking too long. Like I don't know. So she's like, nah, trust me. So I go back up there, and then that's when they like stand up, and I'm just like, mm, I ain't ever been a part of this. Let's see how this go. And then that's when it was like, I don't know, counts of kidnapping. As soon as they said kidnapping, not guilty, I was like, oh. But I held it together. I was just like, okay. And
Because
then
you
it
know
was,
they got to read through those other charges.
yeah. So I was like, okay. So then they was like strangulation, not guilty, assault battery, not guilty. And then the way the judge just dismissed you, like nothing just went on. He's like, okay, Mr. Rosado, have a nice day. Like, no, I need an apology from all of y'all.
You know what? Okay, so you're the first person I've got to hear say that because I would feel that way too. You just strung me through all this stuff, and then you made me innocent. And it's like, all right, carry on with your life.
Yeah, like yeah, just
You've been
okay.
drugged through the mud,
Meeting
Pedro.
over, you can go home. But if they would have said guilty, it's like, okay, now you're stuck with us for X. I'm like, no, I need everybody here to say sorry for wasting my time and
No,
putting me
you ain't gonna get that. You ain't gonna get that. No,
yeah,
forget about it.
Hey, Marquise, Pedro will tell you, him being a correction officer and counselor for 20 something years, he's seen guys been in, prison for 5, 10, 15 plus years and then get found innocent. They don't get a long apology. They're just like, hey, DA evidence says you were innocent. Here's your clothes. Have a great day.
Back up. Let's go.
right. And so when I beat that, I was like, okay, that one down. I got one more to go. Like, but see the one in Atlanta, I'm like, I wasn't really trying to go to trial because I'm just thinking about all like just that, everything with where I'm at.
So is Atlanta still ongoing right now?
Nah, I actually so I told my lawyer, he was like, they want to offer you a deal. He was like, I can see if I can get you first offenders. I'm like, yo, what is that? Like I heard about it, but I never knew what it was. He like, it's where like they drop it down. He was like, they drop it down. You take the deal. You get probation for however long they say, but it all goes away. He's like, you don't get in trouble no more. It all goes away. Only people that can see it is the like law officers or whatever, like police. But they'll say not guilty, whatever. He's like, you just have to not get in trouble. Like you don't get in trouble, everything goes away. Like you never had to go through this. You know what I'm saying? Clean, basically like a slap on the wrist. Basically, he's like, not too many people. Like you're one of one because you shouldn't be getting this, but I don't know what's making them want to give you this. Because I'm like, they know I'm right. Like they know I'm innocent. They just don't want to go
And
about it. Like they don't want to lose or whatever.
It's like when a company that you're suing settles with you because it's like, but the settlement doesn't mean we were wrong, but we're going to give you $2 million, but we weren't wrong.
Yeah. So he telling me, I'm like, yo, how? And I now mind you, I was already through all of this when I got out. I was on pretrial. So I was, been not the judge, my judge in Atlanta didn't even know I had the other case that I had went through a whole nother trial. They never knew nothing about that. So he like on probation. I'm like, man, probation. I'm already basically on probation. I do drugs because I'm doing all that right now. Like I'm on probation before the trial. He like, yeah, but they gotta give you their own like whatever. I'm like, how long can that be? He like, I don't know, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, just depends on what they say. So I go to court. And then he showed me the plea deal, whatever. And he telling me like, look, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. Like, we can still go. You can still say no and go to trial and present your evidence and give your side. He's like, but I'm telling you right now. He said, if you lose, you're doing 25 years to the door, and there's nothing. No, he's like, and I don't want to see you do that. And then I go home and eat a steak or something. Like, I just
that
don't want
that
that.
Keone, that's the worst because if you go to trial, and even though you know you probably are innocent, I ain't had nothing to do with this, and I can prove it. But what if you don't? That's what the lawyer's telling you him.
Yeah,
What if you don't
imagine
prove it? What if that jury finds you guilty?
That's all I could think about. Like, just like that's why I kept telling like my family, like, yo, it's gonna be okay. I'm like, y'all can't say that because it's not y'all, it's me.
because you can't trust people
Like,
to
and then
make.
I'm like, they're like, but you can prove. It. I'm like, okay, yeah, but this is the law we're talking about. Like, they got me on this, right? They saying they got me on this. They don't care about nothing. They not really trying to hear that. They trying to put me under because two of my charges was the max was life. You know, you go to trial and lose, they give you the maximum. So I'm basically facing 50 years. So I'm telling
It's
you.
it's hard to want to put your faith in people. It just reminds me of Pedro back in the day. I'm talking about, you know, 70s, 60s, and before, where you had, I've seen documentaries with, lawyers that have admitted or people who went through this. If you were a minority, like in the South back in the day, and even if you were innocent, your lawyer, public defender would come to you and say, listen, you plead innocent, you're going to be found guilty, you're going to get 50 years. You plead guilty, you're going to get 15. Those are your options.
Like he
It's like,
told me
but
he
I didn't
wasn't
do
doing his
anything.
job. Like he before I signed my plea deal, he was like, he said, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm giving you my lawyer advice. Take the deal. He's like, because this is his words was, I haven't done what I was supposed to do, which rendered to me, I ain't been working for you. So I was like, if they give me this, this, and this, I'll take the deal. So he like, all right, I'll let you know. So I come back. And then that's what he's like, hey, they gave it to you. Like, and I'm like, what is this? So then we finally said it. It was like, the judge was like 10 years, 5 years. They dropped it down to 2 charges and 5 years for both. 10-year probation. So I look, I'm like, yo, I'm not getting on probation till 2034 or something like that. Like, dude. Then as the judge, like, she's like, well, see, if you look in there, it got a behavior incentive. If you don't get in no trouble, you don't catch no extra charges. 2027 in June, you come back to me. I'm a like you get off probation early, everything goes away, and you go on about your
So,
life.
so right now in your life, if anybody asks you, hey, come ride with me somewhere, you're like, where are we going?
Yeah, like yeah,
You
people like,
what?
oh, we going out. Like my cousin be calling like, hey, we going out. I'm like, who going?
Who's
I don't
going?
know.
Right.
Oh, we got 5 sections. I ain't going.
I
Nah,
need details. I
nah,
need details.
I'm cool. I'm man, nah, bro. Like I got 10 years over me that if I get in trouble, I go do. Nah, man, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
People be tripping like, come on, it's not that much. You're like, you don't understand. You when you spent 6 months in that jail in Atlanta, that was enough to know that
It was,
this was 6 months. Imagine, 6 years or
it
more
was
than that.
enough when I seen one of my cellmate actually ended up having my lawyer, my public defender as his public defender, and then another guy in there I was with had my public defender as his. And my cellmate, which I called him my uncle because he was older than me, the lawyer told him they want you to do they got you on a 30 do 15 because Georgia do split sentences, so they'll give you like 10 do 3 or 7 do 1. So he like they got you on a 30 do 15. He said, I'm not doing it. He said, no, listen, they're not moving off of that. Like that's is what this is they only offer. Like either that or you do the whole 30. He said, plus you've been locked up for a year already. You can do 14 more. And that's when I knew like, oh yeah, he not for us, bro. Like he no, because if you can tell him that, but you telling me that you might, he like, I can probably get it dismissed in trial. I'm like, I don't want to go to trial for that to happen. Like, I don't, no, like, you need to get it dismissed now. Like, what are we doing? He's like,
Well, the DA, he's not, he really represents you, but the DA still work. He's the not the DA, the public defender.
yeah,
He still works for the city.
that's what, yeah, I already, like, yeah, he's still an officer of the court, basically. So I'm like, man, oh, man. That's all he kept saying. Like, I'm going to make them put their back against the wall. But they already put their back against the wall by telling you that all they just have is a statement. I got stuff that can counteract that statement. He like, yeah, we just gonna go to trial and get dismissed. Why do you want to go to trial so bad? Like, what's up with you? No. This not how it worked on first 48. What I be seeing, no, I be seeing charges drop. No, I need to no. Something
Hey,
ain't
he trying to get that win in his column. Come on now.
so right. No, something need to happen. So
Wow,
I
Pedro.
ended up just signing a little deal.
This was a lot more than I thought we were getting today, which is not
Yeah.
a complaint. It is not a complaint. I do love the fact that it's got you in a space where if anything doesn't seem right, you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm cool about that. Like,
But
nah.
it's also a big life lesson. It's just those little things sometimes that a lot of people don't realize.
What
That,
I
that,
learned
that
was,
line, that line about that I tell people is a very thin line between being on this side and going to the other side, getting arrested and getting ended up in jail. That line is really there, is very, very thin. And they can snap at any time. And I don't care who you are. You had a lawyer with you in Atlanta because his wife, yeah, and you just went through a whole situation there that lets anybody know that this is easy. Because somebody could say, well, yeah, he did it. You have, well, yeah, I saw him, and there is no proof. You got all this. Well, I wasn't there, but
even the officer told me,
but
I went to court one day and I'm asking him like, yo, how could this happen? He like, listen, man, the thing about Georgia is that hearsay, all somebody gotta do is say something, they lock you up first and then they question you because I didn't get I never got questioned or anything prior before getting locked up. I just got straight locked up. And then they called me on the intercom like they tricked these folks. I let these folks trick me. They talking about some lawyer meeting. So I go thinking I'm about to talk to my lawyer. It's the detective that's initially on the case. So I'm looking like, y'all ain't my lawyer. But I'm like, I don't have nothing to hide. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't care. Like, I know what to say and what not to say. I listen, man, I've been in these streets a long time. I've been outside a long time. So I know what's going. But yeah, I talk to them, let them know, like, bro, ain't I even know
once you're in that, once you sit in front of those officers, they start questioning you. Just all you have to do is smile. I want a lawyer.
yeah, but I was letting them know off jump, like, bro, I wasn't there. I don't care what nobody say. They're like, so what was you doing this? And I was like, look, bro, I had a job in California because they said I had a warrant. They was like, yeah, you've been running. They're like, you've been on the run. Like, how I been on the run? I've been getting on planes, and at that time, I didn't have no ID. Like, I had somebody stole my wallet, or I lost my wallet, but my wallet, my social security, everything was gone. I lost it, like outside in the streets. It fell out my lap. So I was taking planes, but since I didn't have ID, I had to go through like another level of like clearance at the airport. Like they would ask me like, what was your address 13 years ago? What's your mom's middle name? And you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how did I have a warrant if I'm getting on planes frequently going from Atlanta to California, Virginia to California, California to Virginia, California to Atlanta. I'm doing this multiple times a year. There's no way I have a warrant. There's no way I've been on the run. I'm getting jobs. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come back from California, I get another job. How am I running? I'm just doing normal stuff. And then y'all just pop up saying I've been on the run for a year and a half, 2 years. I
Trying to
ain't,
build a story.
huh?
They were trying to build a story, you know, build it together and just make it look when they write it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you made it through that. And now, how much of a change? And you just did. I'm asking that, and that's kind of irrelevant because you already told us you don't want to get out of the car and go out with nobody if you don't know who's going. But what are you doing now? What is your main focus?
Um, right now, trying to just um, get after the graduating the John Casablanca thing. I was just trying to just get more, just just get myself back to trying to get into that all the way, like whatever I can.
You've done some music before too, so
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like just work on like sometimes I'd be practicing like little scripts here and there. Like sometimes I practice my walk in my room, but I'm just trying to like just focus on myself and just get my like career going with what I want to do and what I was trying to do before I got locked up, which was modeling and acting. And other than that, find a job also. I'm just trying to do anything I can right now.
right. Well, sometimes at least you're on this side, so you can get the wheels running and get on back on the bike and keep rolling, and you never know the opportunities will come your way. You got a good story as well to tell and to keep going, and you got some stuff right there to write a good book or good short story. You can create,
Yeah,
right? Creating a play is another thing that a lot of people forget to do nowadays. So those are things that you can use in your advantage, and how you're going to use your whole experience that you have in front of you right now. So you can use that as a stepping stone and not as a stone that's holding you back.
yeah,
So using it that way, it probably could mean more, especially to other people, opening up the eyes to other folks and just let them know, hey, this could happen to anybody at any time, anywhere. And like you said, especially like you said in Atlanta, in Georgia, and Keone knows that, hey, skin color makes a difference. I don't care what anybody says. Also, how much money you have in your pocket. Because if you were to have the $55,000 somewhere to post that bond initially, that wouldn't have been
Well,
an issue.
also, the lawyers you can afford. Like I said, the lawyer that you met in jail was more helpful than the lawyer that you actually had.
yeah.
Now,
Because
that would have been a lawyer that would have been someone you
Right.
would have privately hired, if you had the funds to. So, like, when people see it all the time and they go, how did this person get away with this and get away with this? Good lawyers.
yeah, because one lawyer I called and I was telling him, and he like, all right, he like, man, I can get this all dropped. Like you won't, you know what I'm saying? I know the judge. I know your judge. I know the DA. I can go eat with them. Like I can get this gone. You won't do none of that. He like, but I charge. I charge. He's like 25, 30,000. I need 10,000 up front, 5,000 each month. Because he's like, I'm gonna get you out and everything. I'm
Yeah.
like I need that 10,000 up front. I'm like, yo, I don't have that right now. Like he
Yeah,
like,
that's
well,
the and that's what's so sad about it. Now, look, we say this. We're not acting like everybody that's sitting in prison and jail
Right.
is innocent. Like
yeah,
Pedro said, there's just people that belong under the jail, right? But just imagine the amount of people that are in jail just because they couldn't afford
A
a
lawyer,
good lawyer.
a good lawyer. They couldn't afford a good lawyer. They end up in prison.
Yeah.
It's like, and what he said is so true. The lawyer knows, oh, I know the judge, I know the DA, we're going to have something. It's the same thing I tell people when you go, I dropped this simple thing. You know how you get a traffic citation and they tell you got to get a lawyer unless it's criminal because you were going like 120 miles per hour on the highway,
Mhm.
whatever, and they're taking your license away. A lot of times you don't have to do this because you can go and plead with the DA and they'll drop it or whatever. They got other things for you that you really.
Yeah, like you'll walk in there and they'll do the. I remember one time I was going 40 over the speed limit. I was in my 20s, and I walked in there. I just presented myself nicely, and he's like, "Look, we're going to drop it down to, uh, what does it say? Inoperable speedometer or something."
Or you
Yeah,
have the other thing. It's called prayer for judgment.
yeah.
You can use that every so many years. I can't remember what it is, but
I
you
missed the days where I just went to court in my military uniform, and they said, "Get out of here."
right. But a lot of times people pay for these
Mhm.
lawyers. They'll pay them two, three, $400 for a minor citation, and all they did is just, oh, we sat down for dinner and we go over all our cases. I pay for dinner for the DA, and we solve the case. Oh no, don't worry about it. He's not gonna go.
I think sometimes people do that because Pedro, back in the day, I've done that a couple times. I paid $250. It could have been, I think it's like I was going out of town. I really don't want to go to court that day, and it's like why you pay $30 for a steak at a restaurant where you could get 10 steaks at the store for the same price. You're just like, get it out of here.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes you do that, but this is
it's
so
crazy.
he just went through a really, really, really bad situation and
Yeah.
just let us know that hey, yeah,
Yeah,
money.
only thing about the plea deal I took was it come off my like after my 3 years is over, it's all gone. Like I never had to go through it, and I took it out for plea, so I maintained my innocence. But I told the judge like I'm innocent, but I'm only taking the deal because I don't want to run the risk of going to trial and losing. It was a guy, I forgot his first name, but his last name was Alfred, and he did the same thing like back in the day in North Carolina. He was innocent, and then he got found guilty, and then he appealed it to the Supreme Court and everything, and then they named it the Alfred plea. So
Great, 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 great interview. Pedro, I got to send you a video I just saw. Forensic File. Thank God this guy had this lawyer did it pro bono. Like, how many of these lawyers, when they do these pro bono cases and you find out the person's innocent, it was a guy who, very short, because it's a long story, but very short, something happened. He said in the initial interview what exactly happened, but then when he got to the police station, they interrogated him for 8 hours and they kept repeating what they thought happened to him so much that he started repeating it back to them. And that's what they got him convicted on. 5 years later, they got that guy out of trial, and the lawyer was a big Harley Davidson driving guy, and he just kept calling the detectives punks. And he's like, "Try that crap on me," And it's just crazy. It's crazy how many people are actually sitting in prison or jail somewhere saying they're innocent. But you know what response you're going to get? Everyone in here is innocent.
You're gonna get that. This.
yeah,
So good job, great interview today. Go ahead, and take us out, Pedro.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Marquise, for being here and sharing your story with us. Thank you very much. And I want to close out. Thank you, Keoni, for having us here and hearing you and seeing you again. I don't have much else to say, people. Just
All right.
keep
I
it
want
all
Catch us
together
next
out
time
there. Be
on the
careful.
count.
Catch you next time around. Have a
to thank
great
you.
day.
You guys can watch KeoniProductions. We got so many different shows. If you like astrology, if you like crime stories, Crime Chronicles with Mark Jones, motivational talk shows like Rise with Lisette. We also have membership offers so you can get some special things, special interviews with Pedro. So go ahead and check us out, and we'll see you.
We'll see you. Have a great one.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Marquise, hold on.